Welcome to A Funny Thing Called Business. We are 4 business owners with over 30 years collective experience under our belts, sharing the capers and triumphs of running a small business and how we now avoid perilous customer chaos and pitfalls. This episode is brought to you by Aspire Community Games. I'm Clare Whalley. We also have
Darren Langley,
Kate Curry,
Pete Morgan.
Lovely jubbly. And this month we are doing an episode that is called Ask Me Anything. And this is today, it's going to be for me, Clare Whalley, but in the next few months we'll hear from all our lovely podcasters who have got some amazing businesses and have got lots of experience and advice to share with you. So I'm scared to say I'm handing over to my fellow podcasters for Ask Me Anything.
Are you not comfortable with this?
I find it very challenging to talk about myself. So, yeah, this is definitely me being put outside of my comfort zone. I think it's because normally I'm doing all the questions.
That's right, you've done Pete's question now.
Yeah, exactly. Boom, I'm done. Thanks very much, everybody.
So, yeah, this is me outside my comfort zone.
Well, I suppose the first obvious question is, how much does a coach cost? And where do you drive it to?
I was going to say, what kind of coach? Like a double-decker? Or...
Yeah, I'm not sure. Which one do you drive?
Was that a genuine question?
It wasn't a genuine question. No, that was a joke. That was a joke one.
See how
I have a genuine question, though. Why? Because your background is corporate, isn't it? You're from a corporate background.
Yeah.
What did you do in the corporate world, and why did you want to then become a business coach? And how did they transfer, or do they not?
I do love that question.
Good.
Well, just to go back a little bit further, I did an international degree in English and education. So I actually trained to be a teacher, and then didn't want to be a teacher after I left. I thought, why would anybody want to do that? Stand in front of a classroom full of kids who were all going to be taller than me. It was going to be like a big no for me. I did not want to be the smallest, oldest person in the room. So I applied for graduate schemes, applied for the graduate scheme for BT. After 18 months, I got in. I spent 10 years in there. But after about probably 5 years, I was kind of thinking, actually, this isn't what I set out to do. And I think anybody who's listening who's had a job before running your own business, if you're like committed self-starter, then you're a very hard worker, and people just go, oh, she can do it, he can do it, give them more work. So I was just overworked and I felt undervalued. So I went off to see a life coach because I thought, quite like personal development. But also I was pretty desperate. I was thinking about driving my car. This is a biggie. I was thinking about driving my car into a brick wall on a Friday night just to get out. Not to kill myself, but just to do enough damage so I could be hospitalised, so I didn't have to go back into work.
Oh, that's horrendous.
And it was that I thought, hold on a minute.
So you definitely didn't like that job.
Yeah, no, that was not.
Like the job. So I went off to see a life coach, and straight away I was like, oh, I love this. I love coaching. And I just decided to resign straight away and kind of retrained, and I set up as a life and business coach. My background had been, I was a troubleshooter in BT Mobile, running their largest mobile account in Europe. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can help businesses be more profitable and run more smoothly. But of course, it's very different in the real world. So.
But I think you've got to have that, haven't you? I think you've got to have that bit of cockiness when you start.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely had, I think it was internal arrogance.
Had?
Oh, does that actually come out?
I'm telling you, it's when you said I was training to be a teacher, and that explains so much.
Does that answer your question, Darren?
It does, yeah. Are you saying, did you fake it till you make it kind of attitude?
I definitely did, yeah. In fact, I've used that sentence this morning to somebody who needed a confidence boost, because a lot of it is, you know, we all have our own insecurities and other people don't see them. And you don't need to share them all with everybody. It is just a case of kind of, I'll cover this up for a little bit and try it on. And that's what I did. I tried on being confident and sharing with people. Yeah, I'm a life and business coach. I can help you sort out everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you move into something like that, you've got to say it as if, you know, as if it's already happened, haven't you? You've got to kind of, if you want to be a writer, then tell people you're a writer. Or, you know, it's like you've got to just say it. You can't go, well, I'm thinking about becoming a writer. No, do it. I'm a writer now.
I'm a writer. Yeah, totally true.
So, yeah.
Off the back of what we were just saying there, like when one of the most scariest things when you set your business up is you're sat there with a silent inbox, your phone's not ringing. Like what was the first sort of big thing that happened that you felt like, oh this is going to work?
Oh my God, I think that took so long. I think it's two sides. Looking back, I had an unwavering belief that it was going to work because the alternative wasn't an option. I knew I never wanted to go back to BT. I knew I never wanted to have another job. I always felt I was better. I could do more. So I just thought, just keep my head down, keep grafting, keep going to networking groups. And that was the key piece for me, to be attending networking, going out, meeting other business owners, meeting people, growing my own confidence and sharing what I do. You know, I am a business coach. So it was that has helped me shape who I am now and also shape my business. So, you know, even, 16 years this year being in business, I still network. And it's still one of the, you know, top 3 ways I get business. And I will always shout to people, get out networking. Because it's just a great way to meet other people.
It's important as well from a business coach perspective, because if you're meeting business owners and they come at it with the attitude of, well, what can you teach me? I'm running a business, you know, and you're a coach or whatever, then it's a lot of it maybe comes down to how, you know, you get on from a personal level to convince people to work with you. Because, I mean, how else do you convince people that they need a business coach in their business?
I think I've got away from that word, convincing people. I'm not here to convince people. You either know that you want to grow your business and you can't do it on your own, or I'm not here to tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
I think I did a lot of that at the beginning. I knew people that needed me. And I was, I can help you. But if they don't want to be helped, it's the whole leading a horse to water, isn't it? Crack on. If you think you can do it on your own, crack on. Yeah. I kind of say to people now, in fact, I said to someone last week, give yourself a deadline. If you think you can do it on your own, give yourself a deadline, whatever that is, 3 months, 6 months. And if you haven't do it, then my door's always open.
But nobody can do it on their own.
No, I really believe they can't, because I couldn't do it on my own. And it took me years to realise that. I thought I could. The arrogance. I couldn't.
With that early part, so those first kind of couple of years, what would you say was kind of the biggest challenge or the biggest lesson that you got out of those?
Oh, God. Looking back on those first couple of years, and I'm interested to hear your stories when it comes to it, but I was doing gardening for a friend who had a gardening business, and that's what I do every Wednesday. I do gardening. I hate gardening. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I needed some money, guaranteed money in, so I could pay my half of the bills, and I always did pay my half of the bills.
Wow.
So that was the biggest lesson for me. Do anything, well, you know, not anything. What you feel, you know, comfortable.
Within the realms of morals.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Just to keep the pressure off with money, because having a lack of money stops you from making good decisions. It puts you into panic mode. It puts you into thinking, can I do this? Am I cut out for this? All those questions. And if you love what you do, then you can make it work, but just find something to get some money in, you know, so that you can spend a certain amount of time focusing on your business every week, every month. But that was the biggest challenge for me, money.
Mm.
And it's a horrible place to be.
How far in was it when it stopped being a challenge? When you were like, right, I don't need to do the gardening anymore. I don't need to just do anything.
It was probably a good 2 years.
Right.
And I remember going to a friend's wedding and I was on the cusp of, oh God, this isn't working. You know, I had no money, very few clients, and I was really relying on the gardening side. And I was on that cusp of, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then a contract came in out of the blue and I was like, I've been saved. But that often happens, doesn't it? That just when you're on the cusp of something bad, and then a miracle kind of
you start reading the job listings.
Yeah.
It's a mindset shift when that happens, because then all those conversations you were just having in your own head, they just all go quiet. Then you're just like, no, I am the bollocks. I can do this.
Yeah.
Check out my contract.
It was a lifesaver.
This episode of A Funny Thing Called Business is brought to you by the Community Games and this year's summer full of events in Sutton Coldfield, throughout Birmingham and Staffordshire too. We can't wait to see you for afternoons full of fun, happiness, inspiration, lots of activities, food and music too, and just having a great time with all your friends and family. Please go to our website www.community-games.uk for your tickets for this year's Summer of Fun.
So, one of my goals in life is to have about 10% as much self-control as you have. Like, I think it's absolutely unbelievable how you can just take 3 weeks out of your business to go on holiday, you leave your phone at home, you make time for yourself in your business. I find that really hard to do. And is this like a nature thing or a nurture thing? Can anyone learn to be able to make that sort of time and get that life-work balance work as well as you managed to do it?
Love it. I know it's definitely a nurture thing. And it's nurture because it wasn't easy to start with. But I think it kind of stems back from when I was first starting out and I was a life and business coach. And I felt in order to share the life side, I needed to show that I'd got my life in order and that, you know, I was someone who could be modelled and I couldn't give clients advice or guidance on ways to move their life forward if I hadn't done it myself. So I spent a few years, you know, getting rid of all the kind of skeletons in my closet and dealing with all the challenges or issues that I had. And I did that, had difficult conversations with people that I didn't want to have difficult conversations with, and addressed, you know, lots of issues. So I think, you know, now when I'm talking to clients about having balance, I'm like, well, I can't tell them or ask them to do something that I wouldn't be prepared to do myself. But I tell you what, it has been so easy leaving my phone behind. And I kind of, when I came back, you know, switching my phone back on and, you know, hundreds of WhatsApps and mentions and tags and all that stuff, but I didn't miss anything. There was, you know, there was nothing that I'm like, oh my God, I've missed that and that's really bad.
Yeah.
As long as you've got someone covering the important stuff, then it doesn't matter. But I think the biggest thing for me is you have got to have someone in your party that has got a phone, because there's so many things that you need to scan and fill out forms when you're away, that you do need someone who's
got a burner. Yeah.
You do need someone to pick up the slack for you, but you know, luckily my partner's happy to do that. But best thing ever, not looking at a phone once, because I pick up my phone and I'm like, why am I picking up my phone?
Yeah.
I don't want to pick up my phone, but I've just picked it up and all of a sudden I'm looking at it. How do we do that?
I don't think I could do 3 weeks without Candy Crush, though.
Yeah, no, it would.
You're a parent of 2 small children. Why
I
are you
definitely
on
couldn't do 3 weeks without devices. Goodness.
Has anyone got Candy Crush? My dad is going bananas. Please. Do you feel that pressure, though, of the kind of the USP of your business is you? You can have a support team around you, but it's your expertise, it's your knowledge, it's your guidance, it's your encouragement that people come to the business for. It's going to be, and it may well be in your growth plans, but it's going to be really hard to bring somebody else into the business in the future, isn't it?
No, I don't think like that.
Okay.
And I think it's because I had a coach who the business is about her, but then she moved towards bringing other people in when I was, part way through working with her. And she brought other people in. I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this person. And then I ended up absolutely loving this other person who really helped me shape and grow my business. So, I'm a firm believer in it's not all about you. Get out of your own head. Put down your ego for a minute, Pete. You can teach other people to do the things in the way that you do them. It's just about having good processes and finding the right people. So
I've got an easy question and a hard question.
Let's go easy first.
You want the easy one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So what's your favourite book on business, coaching, motivation?
Nice.
This is the easy question, remember? So.
Okay. Well, the first book that I read when I left BT was Change Your Life in 7 Days by Paul McKenna. So I'm going to attribute the best book to him and that one because it was a catalyst in this massive mindset shift of, oh my God, yeah, you can, if you want to, change anything you want at any point, any time. Because I followed everything in that book and really changed my life. So.
Excellent. Do you want the hard question as well?
Go for it. Do I need to stand up just to, feel
You
a bit more in control?
It's kind of up to you on this one. No, this isn't that hard.
Okay.
If you could have, though, a business coach superpower, what would that superpower be?
Oh, do you know what? That's quite an easy question.
Got them the wrong way around.
Because I would just want to say, just do what I tell you.
The power to control people's minds.
You just want to. That's what you do now.
Yeah, but can you believe some people don't listen?
Well, they are fools.
And some people can be very resistant to the whole process. And it sometimes it can take, it takes a lot of, hand holding, looking after, hugging and, virtual hugging, that kind of thing. And really, I just want to say, seriously, just follow what I'm telling you to do and you'll get the results.
I was going to ask you whether there was a lot of stubbornness in
Sometimes, very occasionally. I would say one client in 30 resists. And, I've talked about fear of everything working out can be a fear. And I'm kind of like, just come on. So, yeah, just do what I tell you. It works.
Power of mind control. That's the superpower.
Have you ever had to terminate somebody because they're just not towing the line, or has that ever happened to you?
I have stopped working with a few people, yeah.
Because I did mean that. I didn't mean like actually bump them off or anything. I said terminate.
Have you ever killed a client?
Not yet. Not through lack of them not working though. I suppose it would be people like not turning up for sessions. Whereas I suppose that's a form of I'm not doing the work, so I'm just going to stay away, and I don't want to take people's money for nothing. So if they're not having the sessions, then let's stop, and you find somebody else. But it always makes me sad because I know that I can help them, but they're just too far into the mire or too far into the resistance, and lead a horse to water.
That comes
and all
back to trying to convince people to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not here to convince you.
Just off the back of that, I was just going, how is it possible to pick up that like right from the get-go, or sometimes is that just creep in?
I like to think I can pick it up, but recently I haven't picked up on something, or perhaps I did and I was a little bit in denial. I think it can be when people are so far deep into my business isn't working at the moment and they're really struggling. And if they've tried things before and it hasn't worked with another coach, or I don't know, they've been working on it for years, then that's when it can be really hard, which is why I like to talk to people who are right at the start of their journey, and, just choose to work with someone from the get-go, and you will save loads of pain and hassle and years of not earning money, because that's what I did. Wasted years of like earning next to nothing. There's no need.
I was just interested, you were just saying then that it's sad when you get sad when you come up against someone who doesn't want to kind of go through the work. How good are you at just emotionally distancing yourself from clients and their business journey? Or are you all in as much, not as much as they are, but are you emotionally invested as well?
Probably am more emotionally invested than I should be.
Right.
And I have to give myself a good talking to, it's their business, their choices. But it's when I can say, if you just do the stuff that we're talking about doing, and getting out of your own way and just pretending to be a little bit confident with it, then you'll get the results. So that's hard. So I have to have some hard conversations with people. But essentially, it's like you'll know this from being in business and just generally of hearing friends talk about stuff. You employ an expert to help you with something. But then if you're spending time going, oh, but I'm going to do it like this, what have you brought the experts in for?
Exactly.
It's like bringing a builder in and then telling the builder how you want something done. Are you a builder? No, shut up then, let the builder do their work. What?
Were you like that when you were a gardener?
No, I was, because I had no clue. I didn't know the difference between a plant or a weed.
Just an empty garden, just soil.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah, that flat green stuff, I think was weeds.
I was basically left to lots of raking up leaves, the houses around Sutton Park in the autumn. So I did a lot of raking.
I'd be interested to know if you had the power to change anything in your journey, like one thing, would you change it? Or and if you would, what is it?
Well, this is going to sound like I've set it up, but I would work with a business coach sooner. Because it took me too much longer than it should have done. I hovered for too long because the investment was big and I didn't have the money. But we've always got the money. We can always find the money. I really believe that. And if you're really committed, and I was like 110% in, I'll do everything you tell me to do. And I did do everything she told me to do. So that's what I would have changed. I would have worked with a coach sooner, rather than thinking I can do it all myself. I don't need any help.
Was it just the money that was stopping you, or did it not? Did it occur to you, I suppose, at the beginning that you needed a business coach, or was there a kind of a point where it was like, I want to be a business coach, and actually, I need a business coach?
Yeah, I think there was a lot in it of like probably a bit of shame and embarrassment that, oh, I'm a business coach, I should be able to do this. And a bit scared about telling people I'm working with a business coach, because if you are, then why would we want to work with you? So I probably kept it a lot quieter in the beginning. And really, no, we should all be working with coaches and counsellors. We all have so much baggage and challenges and issues that we haven't dealt with, and just get some help. It'll be the best investment you've ever made.
It's like the best footballer in the world, like Lionel Messi, still has coaches training him every.
Totally.
They're not as good as him, but
I know.
You can't do it without him.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So work with someone who's going to help you move forward with that problem that you've got, and it'll be the best money you've ever spent.
So what's next? What's the next phase of you as a business owner of the business? Do you know, or is it a case of this generally where I'd like to be?
The only thing I know is that I want to be doing more creative stuff. I work with lots of creatives, probably because I thought I was never creative, and then I was like, no, I am. And just being able to work more outside nature. I could be working anywhere in the world.
Going back to gardening.
Not gardening. Not gardening. I could be working anywhere in the world, and I work with people all over the world. So why am I sitting in an office in Sutton Coldfield? And so I just know that there's something different around that. But, I have lots of ties to Sutton. Rob Whalley. Who thinks his office is Sutton Park, so can't move.
So what are the silver linings when it comes to
Brilliant.
owning your own business, coaching business?
That I can earn as much as I want to earn. There's no ceiling. I can work as many hours or as little hours as I want. Again, there's no ceiling or rules about that. And I can work from anywhere and I can just do whatever I want, work with whoever I want, where I want, when I want. That's what I love about having a business. And the fact that we're open to so many interesting people and opportunities. I don't think you get this in jobs. I don't know, I would like to be proved wrong with that. But, who gets to hang out with someone who runs a podcasting business, a web designer, graphic designer, all these lovely creatives, work in interesting places? I think, when do you get to do that in a job? Never. Do you know what? Before this, I didn't think I liked talking about myself, but crack on with the questions. This is great.
And that's our time for this week.
Exactly. We could do some very quick fire ones.
Who's your favourite client?
Do you know, I was waiting for that one to come up today.
Who's your least favourite client?
Everybody I work with, I do genuinely love working with them. Because everybody does the work.
I thought you were about to say, because everybody loves working with me.
No, everybody does the work and turns up when they should turn up and is excited about moving their business forward and excited about the results they're seeing because of this piece of work they did. And it's just that direct correlation that, again, you don't get in a job, in a business. You're like, oh, if I do this, then a new client comes, or if I do this, then I've got a new team member, and that's what I love. Thanks for your questions, guys. That was awesome. I loved it. So for our listeners, if you enjoyed it, please share, subscribe and review so our fellow business owners can enjoy, be inspired and always keep focused on the fun side of business too. What are your silver linings?
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.